One moment. You should be able to hear me now. A second. All right. Let's see who is here. If you're here, let yourself be known in the live chat, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let yourself be known in the live chat if you can hear me. See one like, thank you very much. Again, I'll start at the 4-minute mark. 1 minute past. At the 4-minute mark, I'll start teaching. So for those who are here during the live, when it's live, wait till it's 4 minutes. For those who watch the replay, you can skip all the way to 4 minutes if you want. Or if you want to stick around, that's fine too. Hold on. So you can see, here's where I am at the moment, near the Hague Central Station. There's a government building behind me. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Yeah, Ministry of Foreign Affairs over here. But I'm not here to promote the Dutch government, absolutely not. I'm just walking around here because it's good weather. I thought I could do a live stream to edify you all right now also, so that's why I'm here. At the 4-minute mark, I'll start teaching. So if you're here already, hit the like button, share this live stream, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. You can donate the links below. If you wish to contribute to fund my PhD, Wise PhD, with your donation, thank you. Check my knowledge on Amazon. Thank you very much. That's where I am. It's almost at the 4-minute mark. Can you all hear me clearly? Let me know, please. Can you all hear me clearly? Can you all hear me clearly? Let me know, please. Thank you very much. Didn't expect this wind to come up. All right. Almost at 4 minutes. Again, here's where I am at the moment. All right, it's a 4-minute mark. It's me, Aridas.com, Rashid. I'm your anthropologist and sociologist. Hit the like button, share this live stream, subscribe to the channel, become a member channel. Don't forget, donate the links below. If you wish to contribute to the fund of my PhD, write PhD with your donation, please. And check my knowledge on Amazon. Okay. Sometimes seeing the obvious is not that obvious. What do I mean by that? Simply said, some people are so blurred in their perception. I'm not talking about a physical blur, which is a medical condition. I'm talking about psychologically. Psychologically, a lot of people are blurred in their perception. They cannot process plain facts that go against their brainwashing. Simple as that. They cannot process simple facts that go against their brainwashing. For example, if you always believed, since you were a child, that people from a certain ethnic group are always the victim and great people. And now, people from that same demographic are now alleged to be involved, or they are alleged to be committing a genocide at the moment, or mass murder. Guess what? When you hear that, you don't want to hear it. You're going to brush it off like it's nonsense. But if people show you proof that's likely going on, now you'll try to say it's fake, it's AI, or it's staged. Or if none of those excuses work, you'll say, okay, maybe they're doing it out of self-defense, or you know how it goes. When someone has been brainwashed, brainwashing means someone has been traumatized into thinking a certain way. Teaching a child to regard other people or how to regard other people is not brainwashing. It becomes brainwashing when you traumatize a child into thinking a certain way by threatening with punishments or with neglect. Now, brainwashing can also happen to adults. As a matter of fact, it happens quite often, especially in the Western world. When someone is brainwashed, they have unhealed psychological wounds. And the brainwashing gives them some ease. It's like morphine. The brainwashing is a psychological morphine that prevents them from seeing how damaged they are. That's why brainwashing works, because the brainwashed victim is more than motivated to remain brainwashed. So most likely, eventually, they become a perpetrator of whatever violence goes on. It goes like this. It goes like this. When someone or a group of people are doing something wrong, they want to be able to get away with the wrong they're doing. And how do they do that? By tricking others into agreeing with them. But guess what? If you're openly doing wrong, causing damage to yourself and others, just like that, nobody wants to side with that. I mean, what the heck? Even evil people or maniacs would think, what the heck is this? But if you tricked people through blackmail or to actual physical or mental violence to side with you, and if people got used to it, because they have to get used to it, the moment they get used to that, now they are brainwashed. And once they're brainwashed, they now see themselves through the traumatic ritual that was done to them. Because brainwashing is a traumatic ritual done onto you. Okay? Brainwashing is a traumatic ritual done onto you. The moment brainwashing is done repeatedly onto an individual, it doesn't always happen, but 9 out of 10 times they get used to it and they begin to believe the accusation. And the moment they believe the accusation, now they see themselves through that traumatic ritual. And once this happens, that individual has a hard time. Okay, someone needs to be blocked over here. Now I'm going to accept people distracting the live stream. Once people are brainwashed, once they see themselves through that traumatic ritual, they'll have a very hard time admitting to anything that goes against your accusation. For example, let's say you have a child, a girl, and her father is quite dismissive of her, and her father keeps calling her annoying or lashing out at her. She may either grow up with a psychological defense mechanism, thinking, I'm not going to take any shit from any man. I'm an independent woman, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So now, she's been tricked into feminism, and now she still believes the accusation of her earthly father that she's annoying, she's a trouble, this and that. And her whole attachment to feminism is to fight off that accusation. but she wouldn't have to fight off the accusation if she didn't believe it. Okay? So she's now fighting off an accusation that she should never believe to begin with. Okay? So let's say this girl was mistreated like that by her earthly father. And now as a grown woman, she has this attachment to feminism, this independent woman mentality. Now eventually, when it comes to finding a husband, or when it comes to finding a mate, she'll face a lot of difficulty. Why? Because she's now still in an argument and a fight against her earthly father. But guess what? That husband of hers, or the man, or the guy she's dating, is not her father. But because she's in conflict internally, believing the accusation of her earthly father, this stress is now projected by her onto her partner. That's going to go wrong. What also could happen is that instead of her becoming this bitchy, independent woman, she can now become a toxic people's pleaser that always gives in to whatever people want. She can even become a religious toxic people pleaser. You have a lot of them in churches. Now, she's still believing the accusation of her earthly father. She's still believing it. But now, she's trying to improve herself to go against the accusation. So when someone is brainwashed, there's an accusation towards themselves that they're believing, and now they're fighting off that accusation. Because we're not built by the Heavenly Father to operate in accusation. No, accusation is not even a natural thing we should even be doing. So in brainwashing, you use a trauma ritual on an individual or group of people, and once they believe the accusation, now you got them. Because now they develop a toxic coping mechanism to fight off that accusation. Are this all clear to you? So now, the moment someone is brainwashed, anytime they hear or see anything that contradicts the accusation, they get uncomfortable. It may sound perverted, but they see themselves as the accusation. So if it's a little girl, and here's where I am at the moment. If it's a little girl and her earthly father was quite dismissive of her and kept calling her annoying, all of that, she actually believes she's annoying, and she doesn't like this about herself. And now she's doing the opposite to fight it off. So anytime she has someone complimenting her, giving her feedback that's not in harmony with the accusation, she feels attacked or she feels upset. But the thing is, there's no reason for her to be upset, because someone gave her a compliment, someone treated her the right way. But you treating her the right way goes against how she sees herself, because she is brainwashed. She believes the accusation that was suggested onto her. You hear me? So the only way forward is for her to look at herself, own up to the lie she's believing, and now she has to divest from that lie, see herself the proper way that before she sees her, and then things can become better. So it doesn't matter if she encounters a loving, kind man. She encounters a loving, kind man filled with Holy Spirit, doing the will of the Heavenly Father. It doesn't matter as long as she is brainwashed. So as long as she believes that accusation towards herself, she won't be able to handle loving care nor loving attention from anyone. Simple as that. So brainwashing is to trick you into believing an accusation against yourself. And naturally you will resist this. But you're not aware you're believing bullshit about yourself. You're not aware of that. You may only be aware of your coping attitude. Especially if your coping attitude translates into addictions. Whether it's a porn addiction, alcoholism, or whether you're a workaholic, working all the time, or you're a religious zealot, being hyper-religious. When you're brainwashed, brainwashed simply means you've been successfully tricked into believing an accusation against yourself. Naturally, Without you being aware of it, you resist this because it's natural for you to resist this. This resistance in your behavior and your attitudes is what others notice, and maybe you too. So a lot of people, they notice their own coping mechanisms, and they admit that they have an issue. But what they don't realize is that there is something about themselves they're believing that simply is not true. It may appear true, but it's not true. So, brainwashed people, they're not all, let me say this, a brainwashed individual is a victim as long as they are not aware of how dirty they've been treated. The moment a brainwashed individual notices that they've been done dirty by the environment, but they don't want to admit their own, they don't want to admit their own toxic beliefs, now they're slowly becoming perpetrators of the same lie. So now they're not victims anymore. Okay? So a woman that had an earthly father being dismissive of her and accused her of being annoying, if she is a religious zealot right now, eventually she has to admit that her religious zeal is out of line. And at some point she needs to admit the painful reality that she's believing something about herself that doesn't add up. The moment she refuses to do that, and she keeps investing in that lie, she's not a perpetrator of, she's not a victim anymore. Or if she has become this so-called independent woman with a bitchy attitude, eventually she has to admit it's not her ex-boyfriend or her ex-husband, it's her. There's something about her that she's believing about herself that doesn't add up, and she needs to give up believing that accusation. But it's not easy for a brainwashed individual to see that they've been tricked into believing against themselves. But that is what needs to happen. It does not matter how many facts and proof you show to a brainwashed individual. It does not matter. Why it does not matter? Because they are believing an accusation against themselves. So their character has to become that accusation. So they have to be broken down psychologically completely so they can be built up in a better way. You don't do this by throwing facts at them, even though facts may trigger them to face themselves. You do this by calling out the accusation they are believing. The thing is, a brainwashed individual ceases being a victim the moment they refuse over and over again to do the inner work. From that point on, they become perpetrators. And such brainwashed people, they become perpetrators and collaborators of the lie, eventually end up enabling crime and committing crime too. Right? So, there was a politician I just saw that I greeted. But anyway, what I'm saying is that you cannot expect someone that's brainwashed to see that they've been brainwashed. A brainwashed individual, for example, let's say you have a woman, okay? I'm using female examples, but this counts for men too. You know what, let me use a male example, okay? Let's say you have a guy, and he's a workaholic. My God, this guy is working all the time. He performs very well at the job. He's not aware that there's a performance demon working through him too. He's not aware of that, but hey, he's performing very well. At some point, some is around to tell him, dude, you're working too much. You're going to faint one day. And of course, one day the guy's a burnout. He's at the hospital right now. And the medical doctor tells him, you need to take some rest. You've been working too much. And then the guy admits, you know what? Why was I working that much? Now, eventually, you may ask the guy, dude, why were you working 60 hours a week? Overworking 20 hours a week? What the heck were you thinking? And the guy, yeah, I know, okay, if you know it's a wrong thing, why were you doing this to yourself? Well, when this guy was younger, he experienced abandonment. It doesn't matter whether it was his mom that abandoned him from time to time, doing stupid stuff, or whether it was the people around him being dismissive towards like it didn't matter. This guy experienced abandonment. And he got the message that if he can contribute, he'll be treated well. So, by the way, there are a lot of children that are raised this way by their parents, that they don't matter unless they can contribute to making others feel better. It's a very bad way to raise children, by the way. But anyway, let's say this guy
I do.
believes the bullshit that he's only has value if he contributes. So he thinks he's a piece of shit if he doesn't contribute. This is what he believes. He believes this horrible accusation about himself. So when you tell him, dude, why were you working so long destroying yourself? He's sad, he can't explain why he's doing it. He's become mentally ill, he lost it. But at some point he will say, well, at least I'm not lazy training other people. And then you ask him, but dude, nobody said you were training other people. What are you talking about? You need some rest. You got a declaration from the hospital that you need rest. So you being a welfare right now, there's nothing wrong with that. You've been working a lot already. Still you say, but I feel horrible that I can't work. I feel horrible that I'm bothering other people. And you tell them, nobody's bothered by you. And then you'll get to the root of it. He believes this accusation about himself, that he's a piece of shit, horrible, unless he contributes. So someone, and somewhere when he was growing up, tricked him into believing that he is a piece of shit, horrible, worthless, because he's training other people. So now he's fighting off his accusation by being so productive at his own expense. And that is what needs to be addressed. Showing him facts he's working too much will not help. He needs to be told, listen, dude, you have to face reality right now. You hear me? It may be that a guy is a drunkard, drinking all the time. And he's in therapy to quit that alcoholism. But for some reason, he keeps falling back in being an alcoholic. And then at some point, you are going to realize that he is believing something about himself. And that doesn't add up. And he's compensating this belief in failure, because that failure is not something factual. It can be this guy has succeeded. He graduated. He can, for example, graduate a law school with honors. It can be he succeeded in life in many areas, but he still believes he's a failure. So the failure he believes in never happened, but he believes he's a failure because someone tricked into believing he's a failure. Even though on the outside he can be married, he can have children. The children are doing well in school, and still he's drinking all the time, or he ends up even being suicidal. Even if that's you, go look for help immediately. Why? Because he believes something about himself that simply is not based on reality nor proof. That's how all brainwashing is. Brainwashing is when someone or a group of people succeeded in tricking you into believing an accusation against yourself, and now the coping mechanism has you trapped. And you're not even aware that you're operating a coping mechanism. As a matter of fact, some of those coping mechanisms are even praised by society. Workaholics are only called out if they openly destroy themselves, and it becomes embarrassing to everyone else. But apart from that, hard work is so promoted. So if you have this coping mechanism of working too much, you'll not know something's wrong with you because it's being validated. Or let's say you have a woman that became a party girl. She's always in parties all the time, being sexually promiscuous. Now, if the people around tell, hey, you're young, live your life, get this lust out of your system, do whatever you want to do, it's your body, your choice, blah, blah, blah. Let's say she's praised by people around her. She will not realize something seriously off with her because her defect is being praised by others. The religious zealot may be praised by their cult for being so hyper-religious even. So there is no brainwashing without an accusation. So if you notice someone is brainwashed, check the accusation they're believing and counter that accusation. Once you counter that accusation, eventually the individual may face a mental breakdown because their whole life has been about this accusation, straight up. But that is the way forward. You're not causing a mental breakdown by injuring them through psychological abuse, no. You cause them a mental breakdown by forcing them to re-examine what they're believing about themselves. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that Listen, there are two types of brainwashed people. You have those who are victims because they simply have no idea how damaged they are and they need help. And then you have those who actually are blameworthy because they don't want to admit anything. So them in their toxic denial have become perpetrators. But whether someone is still a victim or actually became a perpetrator, it's important to offer this basic help to both of them. Now, those who are perpetrators will likely refuse it. There's nothing you can do about that. But just still offer it. Question that base accusation. That's what needs to be challenged. Maybe you are realizing now that you've been brainwashed too. If that is the case, admit it to yourself, check the accusation. The accusation is anything that's not in harmony with the will of the Heavenly Father, and give it up. If you need to start over in life, you start over in life. Simple as that. Amen? Again, I'm not excusing brainwashed people if they've become perpetrators. If they're still victims, we still need to hold them accountable so that they can look healthy and become better people. I'm in no way excusing evil and brainwashed people from participating in evil, like genocide or child abuse or whatever. I'm not doing that. What I'm just saying is that the way to get rid of, the way to destroy brainwashing is this: challenge the base accusation people believing about themselves. Simple as that. And by the way, all societies brainwash its members. So all of us were brainwashed to some extent. Now, the brainwashing did not succeed with everyone. The brainwashing may not have succeeded completely with you, but all of us were subjected to brainwashing. Now, it didn't succeed with all of us, thank God. Just know that brainwashing is how the society, or say the world, operates. So please, check yourself so that you are not fighting off a fight that God didn't give to you. If you believe an accusation about yourself that's not based in any reality whatsoever, you're actually agreeing against yourself. That means you're actually attacking yourself on a daily basis. And this violence towards yourself will also translate in toxicity in you that will also harm your environment. So that's why we need to be renewed, transformed by the renewal of our mind. We need to be renewed in our mind as believers. Unbelievers cannot be renewed in their mind. Only believers can. Okay? Okay, this is a very short live stream. Just let me know. Do you have any questions about this topic? Let me know in the live chat now. Let me know in the live chat. I see Sherry's here. Tammy's here. Hi, Tammy. Violet's here too. Are there any questions about this topic? Just let me know. Again, not every brainwashed individual is a bad person. It simply means they're damaged people who believe accusations against themselves, and they need to be free from that. So they need to own up to the bullshit they believe in now. Because listen, even though they were tricked into believing it, that means they were victimized, they're still believing it. So they still need to let go of that. All right? If a brainwashed individual became a perpetrator, it's very unlikely they'll ever recover or they'll ever cooperate with solutions, because they're perpetrators. They just chose the dark side. If someone has chosen the dark side, they're not victims anymore. So you need to be cautious in dealing with them. Okay? As a matter of fact, it needs to be dangerous to even be around. But if someone is brainwashed and they're still just a victim, there's still more hope for them to ever get better. Challenge the base accusation that they're believing about you. Check yourself. Is there something bad about yourself you're believing to the core that's not in line with the words of the Heavenly Father? Give that shit up. Just give it up. All right? All right. So no other questions. Thank you all for being here. Keep on agreeing with Christ. Again, hit the like button, share this live stream, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel. Don't forget, you can donate in the links below. If you wish to contribute to the Fund and PhD, please do. And write PhD with your donation. Updates will follow soon. And check my novels on Amazon. About to go home now, make some dinner, Talk to you later. Agree with Christ. I'll see you next time. God is good all the time.